So as we find that place of peace and ease, as we breathe in that spaciousness and breathe out that resistance, let's go ahead and open the knees wide. Bring the soles of the feet together and then allow those knees to fall out to the side. So we're finding that Supta Baddha Konasana. And just hold here for a minute and notice how the legs begin to get heavy, opening up the groins, the inner thighs. And then walking those feet back out to the side. Deep breath in, exhale, let the knees move to the right. Little spinal twist here as we let the head go to the left ear to the mat. Try to draw that left knee down. And then inhale, taking it back through center. Let's go ahead and bring those feet together. Let those knees fall out to the side. 2 breaths right here. Noticing the curvature of the spine, softening the face, and walking the feet back out. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, the knees fall to the left. And then maybe the right ear moves towards the mat. Again, a spinal twist. And then we come back through center again. Let's go ahead and cross that right ankle over the left knee and then draw that left leg up, flexing the feet. Arms can come to the inside and the outside of that left leg. And as we draw the right knee away, just draw that left thigh in. So we feel this little bit of pressure here, and maybe even a slight shift to the right. Getting into that right hip flexor, a little bit onto the periphery of the body. And then lift that left leg, maybe point and flex the toes, and then on the next breath, release the hands and see if you can't lift your head and chest up, taking a hold somewhere along the calf. Keep pressing that right knee out. And then exhale, slowly release everything back to the mat. Arms can come alongside the body or at shoulder height. Take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, cross the left ankle over the right knee. We'll draw that right leg up and let the hands come around the inside and the outside of that right thigh. As we breathe here, we draw that right leg in and press the left knee away in this figure 4, right? A little bit of that supine pigeon. Last breath here, and then on the next inhalation, go ahead and straighten that right leg, maybe point and flex the toes, and then release the hands maybe somewhere onto the upper leg as you lift the head and chest. And then exhale, slowly release, let everything come back down. Bring both knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, and then start a little bit of that rocking up and down along the base of the spine to the shoulders. And we'll make our way up into a seat. So as we find our way onto our sits bones, right, maybe we cross the feet underneath the knees, or we have a little bit more of an open seat, right, with the heels in line with one another. Go ahead and take a nice full inhalation and then exhale, drop the chin to the chest, a little stretch for the back of the neck. And then we'll slowly roll the right ear to the right shoulder. Exhaling back through center. And then over to the left. 2 more, just like that. Nice soft rotation. Noticing the opposite shoulder, keeping it down, right? So we have a little bit more of a stretch. Last time on that left side. And then let's bring the chin back to center and then inhale up. On the next breath, press the hands into the knees and let the gaze and the chin lift. So we're stretching out the front of the throat, right? All the way up. Gaze is lifted. And then coming back through center. Good. Inhale, take the arms up and over the head. Exhale, twist to the right. And then take it back up and over to the opposite side. Pausing here, looking over that left shoulder. Let's do a little bit quicker. Inhale, exhale fully. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take that twist. One more time, inhale, reach up. Exhale to the right. Last time, inhale, reach up. And then exhaling over to the left. So we inhale, we reach the arms up, and then exhale, just bring the arms down all the way to the floor. We'll bring the hands out in front of us, and then we'll just take a gentle fold forward, feeling how we can keep those sitting bones rooted down and the arms stretching forward. Maybe on the next inhale, we just lift up slightly, and then exhale, fold again. So a little bit of just sort of like a wave-like motion through the back side body. Last one. And then from here, bring the hands back, and then just see if you can't roll over the knees and find a tabletop position. So hands underneath, or wrists underneath the shoulders and knees and hips in the same line. We'll do a couple of rounds of cat-cow. Exhale, drawing the chin to the chest. Wrap the elbow creases in so you can draw those shoulder blades away from one another. And then inhale, lift the chest. Let the chin be parallel to the floor and just lift your gaze, right? So again, we're not lifting the chin all the way, we're lifting the eyeballs. Exhale, belly in, round the spine. Last one, chest opens, elbow creases move forward, and we gaze up. Coming back into that neutral spine, tuck the toes under and find your way into downward facing dog, into Uddha Mukha Svanasana. So here, pedal out your feet, right? Do anything that feels good to you. I love to take that nice, rich, deep bend in one knee, bringing the opposite heel to the floor, and then the other side. It's always nice to kind of reach back in the heels and lift the toes, or even come up onto the toes, lifting the heels, and then drawing the sitting bones just a little bit higher to the sky before we melt them back down to the earth. Inhale, find a plank, top of a push-up. Feel the strength in the arms, straighten out that back, draw those sitting bones down, and then exhale, press back, downward dog. Inhale, taking it forward, find that nice strong plank, gaze is out in front of you, press the floor away, and then take it back, downward dog. One more time, coming forward into that plank. And then coming down onto the knees. Let's untuck the toes and melt the pelvis all the way to the ground. Forehead touches down. Bring the hands up underneath, alongside the ribs, right? Just underneath the breastbone, and pull the shoulder blades back. So on the inhale, as we traction the hands back, lift the head and chest for a slight baby cobra here. And then exhale, release the forehead to the floor. Tuck the toes under, press back to table or plank, and find downward dog. Find the breath, deep and full. Maybe you do that ujjayi breath, right? That closing down the back of the throat, that audible sound. And then looking forward, come up onto the tippy toes, make your way to the top of the mat in a standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Press out through the feet, maybe bring those big toes to touch. Inhale, lift halfway, the hands reach onto the shins or the thighs, and that crown of the head stretches forward. Really activate into those thighs, rolling those thigh muscles in towards one another, and then exhale, release. Two more, just like that. Inhale, lift halfway, draw those shoulder blades back, away from the floor, and exhale, release. One more time, inhale, and exhale, let everything go. Shake the head, yes and no, maybe wiggle the shoulders slightly. Bend softly into the knees and press out as you root to rise, arms Reach up and over the head. And then exhale, hands to heart center and then alongside the body. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold over the legs, standing forward fold, bend the knees, step that left foot back, come into a lunge. So drop that hip down, gaze is forward. Let the hands come to the floor, step the right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale your way. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, or melt all the way to the floor. Let your inhale lift you into an upward dog or baby cobra, and your exhale takes you back to downward facing dog, where we find the breath again. Nice, deep, full breath in and out. Gazing, maybe you can gaze up at those hip points, right, with the eyeballs. And then coming up onto those tippy toes, looking forward, find your way again to the top of the mat, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release. Press out through the feet and rise all the way to stand, arms up over the head. Exhale, hands alongside the body. Again, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, dive over the legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, step that right foot back, and again, find that lunge. So we're dropping into the hips, straightening that spine, crown of the head, reaching forward. Both hands come to the floor. We step the left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale your way. Find a flow. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Up dog or baby cobra is your inhale. And down dog is your exhalation. Take a deep, full breath in. Exhale, let it go. Come onto the knees and exhale. Come into a child's pose just for a minute. Or I should say a breath. Minute's too long. Just a breath. Extend those arms forward. And then inhale back into table. Tuck the toes. Press it back. Downward facing dog. Let that left foot stay heavy and that right leg is going to extend up. Once it's here, stack that right hip on top of the left and bend the knee. The work here is to press a little bit more firmly into that left hand. We're lifting that right knee as high as it can go. Maybe we rotate the ankle a little bit on that right side. And then we re-extend the leg, bringing both hips in line with one another, and then draw the right foot between the hands. We're going to keep that back leg lifted and see if we can't inhale into a high lunge. So taking your time, maybe you walk up the leg, maybe you can just lift yourself straight up. Extending through that side body, right? We want to tuck that tailbone under. Deep as bend we can get in that front leg with the arms reaching up. Let's bring that right hand to the right knee and inhale, lift the left arm up, and then take a bend to the right. Little weeble wobble moment. Scissor your legs together. And then inhale, take it back up. Right arm comes up to meet the left. We drop that back heel and we open up into warrior two. So again, take a minute here. Make sure that we're rotating that left hip around, deepest bend in that right leg we can get. Gaze over those front fingers. Really think about drawing that right knee towards the right side of the mat. So all the front of the body is nice and open. Arms are extended, reaching for the front and the back of the room. On the next breath, reverse the warrior. Right hand reaches up. And then exhale, warrior two. Inhale, sweep that arm up and notice that right knee, right? Don't come out of the bend. Bend as deeply as you can here. And then take it back to warrior two. One more, just like that. Sweep that right arm up. And then find your warrior two. We're going to sweep it back around to that high lunge again. Arms reaching up and over the head, coming onto the ball of that left foot. On your exhale, bend deeply into that right knee, getting closer to the floor. Bring both hands to the inside of that right leg. We're going to walk the right foot all the way over to the side for a little lizard pose here. So you can stay up on that back knee or you can drop down. We're going to try to keep that chest nice and open with the shoulder blades dripping down the back. And we're going to open up that right leg. So maybe you want to explore the right hand, kind of coming into the inside of that knee or keeping both hands on the earth. If you can and you want to without really shrimp backing, right, rolling that back, maybe you come down onto forearms. Again, if you can keep your chest lifted. Try to traction your hands back toward you to keep the chest nice and open. Take one more breath here and then begin to walk that right foot back in. We're going to lift that back leg and step that right foot all the way up and back into three-legged dog. Last breath and then release the right foot to the floor. Inhale, find your plank, and exhale, take a vinyasa of your choice. Knees just chitter chatter. Making our way back to down dog. If down dog is not what you want for a resting pose, come into table, or you can always take a quick child's pose. You don't always have to do a flow either. All right, the right foot's gonna stay heavy, the left leg sweeps up and back. We start in three-legged dog. Then we stack the hips, and we bend that knee. We lift that left leg towards the sky, maybe a little rotation of the ankle, and a little bit more pressure into that right hand. Squaring off the hips, let that left foot stretch back, and then we step that left foot between our hands. From here, bend deeply into that left knee and inhale, rise all the way up into our lunge. You can always self-adjust, right? You can bring your hands to your hips, or you can think about lifting through that rib cage. Bend deeply into that front knee. Let that left hand kind of float down. Right hand reaching up on the inhale, exhale, we tilt to the left. So again, as you squeeze and scissor those inner thighs together, that will help you with your stability. And then inhale, come back up, left arm up to meet the right. Drop onto the heel of the back foot and then open up into warrior two. So again, thinking about tracking that left knee to the left side, right? We're dropping into that right hip, rolling it open, gazing over those left fingers, reaching long, dropping those shoulder blades, letting them melt down the back. And then on the next breath, sweep that left arm up and over, reverse the warrior. Keep that nice bend in the left knee. Take it back, warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, left arm reaching up. And again, we find warrior two. Hold here for one breath. And then let that right arm come along to the left. We come onto the ball of the left foot, and we're back into our lunge. Nice and deep, bend into that knee, and then let both hands come to the inside of that left leg. Walk the left foot all the way out to the side. Stay up or drop onto that back knee. Maybe you open up and roll onto the outside edge of that left foot. Again, you may want to take a minute to kind of press that knee away, a little twist. Or just keep both hands planted, letting that chest open. Traction those hands back towards that back foot. That'll help keep the chest lifted. And then slowly, let's go ahead and walk that left foot a little bit closer. We're gonna lift that leg if it wasn't already lifted, and then let that left foot come all the way back into three-legged dog. Take one breath here and release the left foot down. Inhale, flow forward into plank. Exhale, flow your way. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Up dog or baby cobra. And then exhale back into your downward facing dog. Let the breath carry you. On your inhale, look forward, and again, find your way to the top of the mat into your standing forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and release. Press out through the feet and rise all the way to stand, arms up and over the head. Keeping the hands here, take hold of that right wrist with the left hand. Inhale. Exhale, let's find that Ardha Chandrasana, arms over to the left. Little side bend to the left. Inhale, back up through center. Release the hands, swan dive over the legs. Draw the chin into the chest. Then press out through the feet, root to rise, arms come all the way back up. Right hand to left wrist, inhale. Exhale, over to the right. A little bit more weight into that left foot. Inhale, let's come back up. And just let the arms come alongside the body. Close the eyes for a minute. In our standing mountain pose. Tadasana. So we're going to take a little stretch for the quads here. We're going to shift the weight into that left foot and bend the knees, right? It kind of helps to do that. And then reach back for that right foot. Squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze the knees together, and then try to come back upright. So all of this is squeezing together. We're drawing that pelvic bowl forward. Maybe that left arm reaches up. And then exhale, let it go. Good. We'll do the other side. Bring the weight into that right foot, bend into the knees. Go ahead and kind of crouch down, take hold of that left foot. Squeeze all those thighs together. Draw that pelvis forward, right? So we're not we don't want to stick that booty out. We really want to drop it under so you feel that stretch happening along the front side of the leg and then right arm reaching up over the head. Last breath here. And then exhale, slowly release. Let's go ahead and bring the big toes to touch. A little space in the heels. Reach the arms up and over the head and then drop into the seat for chair pose, Utkatasana. See if you can shift your weight into the left foot and then just lift that right foot behind you, keeping the knees squeezing together. And then down. Squeeze. Other side. And release. Inhale, dive over the legs, standing forward fold. Good. Bend the knees. Go ahead, bring the hands to the floor. Step the left foot back, then the right, coming into plank. Let's find the knees and then shift the weight back. Hips to heels, forehead to the floor. Take a moment here in child's pose. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And on those exhales, think about exhaling and then exhaling just a little bit more. Right? Exhaling and exhaling just a little bit more. What can we release? What can we get rid of? That last little bit of junk and stuff that's collecting that we don't need. All right, coming back onto our hands and knees. We'll tuck those toes under again and lift the hips back into downward dog. Let's go ahead and let that left foot stay heavy and that right leg sweep up. We're gonna bend that knee and step it between the hands. We're gonna pop the left foot in, turn the toes out for warrior one. So keep the bend in the right knee, square off the hips, and then inhale, arms up into our nice warrior one position, right? So those toes are pointing like towards maybe 11 o'clock if it were a clock on the floor. We're going to extend through that side body, fingertips reaching long. And then we're going to straighten the front leg and let the arms gently clasp behind the back. We're going to roll the shoulders back, look up, press the fists maybe into that low back a little bit, and then exhale, hinge forward. So as you sort of start descending over that right knee, make sure that left hip is actually rotating around to the front of the mat. And then maybe you extend the arms out straight behind you. Take another breath here and see if you can't come down a little bit more. We're going to take off into a warrior three from this position. So keep looking at the floor, bend into that right knee, and then slowly begin to lift the left leg off the mat. If you'd like to unclasp the hands, reaching back through the fingertips, you can. You can bring the palms at heart center. If you want to challenge yourself, you can bring the arms alongside the ears. Your choice. Take one more breath. Bend into that right knee, release the left foot. And last, warrior one, full deep breath. Exhale, hands come to the floor. We step all the way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, take your plank, and then exhale, your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, or hold anything that you want. Really working the inhale and the exhale. Matching your breath to your movement. And then finding your way back to downward dog. So as the head melts between the arms, see if the eyeballs can look up at the hip creases, right? We're not jacking the head that way. We're just moving our eyeballs in that direction. Slowly bring your weight into the right leg and lift the left foot off the earth. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. Bring that left foot between your hands. Pop the right foot in. Bend deeply into that left knee and rise all the way to warrior one. Again, you can always take that self-check, right? You can always use your hands to feel what's happening in your body. Notice the breath here as you breathe, arms reaching overhead. And then slowly as we straighten that front leg, we're going to bring the hands back behind the back. Take that inhale as we lift the chest, and then exhale, working the hinge from the hips. Keeping that right hip moving forward and that left hip moving back, we start to draw our chest over that left leg. Maybe those arms begin to extend back as we try to come a little bit closer. Try not to dig into those toes, right? We don't want to grip in with the toes. We want to draw those feet out away from one another. All right, slowly bending into that left knee. Let's find our warrior three as we sort of fly away from the mat. Right toes are pointing down. Choose that arm position, something that is working for you tonight. You might notice one side is a little bit more agreeable than the other. As you're ready, bending into that left leg, release the right foot and inhale, warrior one. Last breath here, exhale. Hands come to the floor. Again, step the left foot back to meet the right plank pose. Exhale your way, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Into up dog or baby cobra. And finding our way back to downward facing dog. On the next breath, go ahead and come again onto those knees and make your way into child's pose. Hips to heels and forehead to the floor. Breathe in spaciousness and acceptance of what is. Breathe out resistance. Breathe in the possibility and optimism. Breathe out fear and doubt. That's what we want. Press all that fear and doubt out. All right, press all that negative energy out. And each and every exhalation. All right, making our way back into table. Tucking the toes, and again, finding our way into downward facing dog. Look forward and make your way to the top of the mat, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway or higher. Exhale, release and press out through the feet. Rise all the way to stand, arms up and over the head. Exhale, palms to heart center. And into Tadasana. So we're gonna sort of work with a little bit, adding on to what we did before in our last standing sequence. As we shift away to that left foot and we bend the knees, let's go ahead and grab that right foot or ankle, right? And as we lift up, squeeze everything together. Really try to scissor those thighs together, bring those knees together. And then let that left arm reach up and overhead. So from here, we're just gonna start to take that lifting action, right? So we're gonna lift that right leg behind us. And we're gonna notice that as we lift, we're gonna start reaching that left hand forward. So it's a lifting, right? It's not a folding. We're lifting and reaching. There's an arch in our back. Coming into King Dancer. That gaze is forward, that chest is lifted. And then taking it back. And then slowly releasing down. Close the eyes and take a breath. Exhale and exhale a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale and exhale a little bit more. Shifting the weight to the right foot. Bend the knees. Reach back for that left leg. Scissor everything together. Lift through that belly. Right, we want that Uddiyana Bandha, that lifting action, that belly flying up, right? That flying up block. Right arm reaching up and over the head. And then slowly taking that left leg back, pressing the hand and the foot in opposition to one another. That right arm keeping us in balance. Little arch in the spine, opening of the chest. Last breath. And then making our way back up. And mindfully releasing down. Last moment here, close the eyes. Opening the eyes, inhale, arms extend up and over the head. Exhale, let's dive over the legs. Just inhale, lift halfway. This will feel really nice for the back. And then exhale, release as you bend the knees, step the left foot back, followed by the right, downward dog. Inhale, flow forward into plank. Let's hold plank. And then exhale, let's come down onto the knees. And we're just gonna make our way upright. So we're gonna find a little bit of a back bend here in our camel pose. So maybe you want to keep those toes tucked under. Bring the hands back behind you. The heel of the hand can rest on, right there on the sacrum. And the work is, again, to open that chest and to draw those thighs forward. So we're not leaning back like, oh yeah, I did it. No. We're leaning forward. We're arching through the spine. We're letting it's like I'm taking you from the ribs and lifting you off the pelvis and then drawing you back. Gaze up at the ceiling. Take 2 more breaths right here with the shoulders reaching back, the elbows moving in, chest is expanded, collarbones are broad, and then inhale, come upright. Just hold here for a minute in this nice, straight, upright prayer position. We're going to take this again, and maybe you're going to come down a little bit deeper, right? So bringing those hands, those palms back behind the back. Open up the chest, lift the chin, press forward. Maybe the right hand reaches back, or maybe you reach it up and swing it back around you, right? Some people like that idea of sort of like that backstroke, fingertips coming inside the heels, chest is lifted, pelvis reaching forward. And then slowly press yourself back up. Go ahead and sit your hips onto the heels. Pause here for a breath. On your exhale, breathe out just a little bit more. And then slowly bring those fists to the floor. Let the forehead rest. Softening the breath. Letting the spine come back into a neutral position. So that was a good back bend. So we're not going to get on our belly to do any back bending here. And we did a lot of vinyasas tonight. So get ready to come onto your seat, right? If you're working on kind of drawing yourself through, right, you can cross at the ankles and lift up and walk your feet through, or you can just come to one side and bring your feet out in front of you for Dandasana or staff pose. Right? If you have a blanket and you want to put that blanket up underneath your hips to sit up a little bit higher, that might feel nice. Sitting up nice and tall, again, thinking about lifting those ribs off of the hips, lengthening through the spine. Right? Imagining we're sitting up against the back of a wall or a tree. Softness in the throat, in the face. The jaw is soft, shoulder blades are soft. And we find this is a lot of work, right? Just to sit, just like this. And just let that right leg lengthen a little bit longer than the left. So maybe you're pulling that left leg towards you. And then coming back to square off hips, centered position. The other way, draw that right leg back in. And then take it back. One more, both sides. Draw that left foot back and together, and then the right. Nice full deep breath in, exhale, either arms come up as we exhale forward, or just bring the arms forward, taking hold of whatever you can in our forward fold, right? So this isn't a yin, right, like we did last week, it's not restorative. So the work here is to keep that chest lifted and those shoulder blades back. Nice flat spine. It's like we're folding that paper, right, in half. Or we're squeezing that toothpaste tube. We're not starting from the middle, right? We're starting from the bottom. Soften the gaze, maybe even close the eyes here. And then inhale, let's come all the way upright. Open the knees, or the feet, I should say. We're gonna do a little bit of a wide forward fold tonight. So again, maybe you sort of lift a little bit of the junk out of the trunk back there so the sits bones are rooted, our feet are flexed, and we're pulling our legs back in towards us. So we sit up just a little bit taller. Deep breath in, and then exhale, walk those fingers forward. And you know when to stop, right? You stop the minute you start to feel yourself rolling, where you start to feel your chest caving in. Everything stays nice and open. If you want to practice that with the arms outstretched to the side, that's always an option. So inhale, we sort of lift up a little bit, and exhale, we hinge a little bit more forward. When these arms are extended out to the side, like we have our arms in Warrior Two, right? It helps to keep that chest open and the shoulder blades drawing down the back. Soften the gaze to the floor. Find that nice baby bear, that neutral spot for the chin. And then inhale, let's come all the way back up. Draw those knees in. Let's bring those feet together and the knees out to the side in our Baddha Konasana. So as we're here, maybe the hands are on the feet, maybe they're on the ankles. We're sitting up nice and tall and shoulder blades back. So I'm going to bring my elbows in towards my rib cage. Sitting up nice and tall, let's hinge again. If you would like, you can always just work on sitting up tall, right? So again, hinging from the hips. I kind of traction my hands back to help keep my chest open. And we inhale, come back up. Good. Close the knees like we close a book. Let's bring our hands back behind us and lift our seat, bringing the booty a little bit closer to the calves, and then we're going to find a reverse table. So lifting the head, lifting the pelvis, and then exhale, let's lower down. Good. So finding our way onto our back, right? Maybe come into the middle of the mat, lower all the way down. We're going to bring our feet in close, about hips width distance apart, and the hands are alongside the body, palms face down. Pressing ourselves up into bridge pose, find a breath here. Exhale all the way out, and then a little bit more. And then on your inhale, peel yourself up. Once you find that spot where you can't go any further, walk those shoulders underneath the body. Maybe you interlace the fingers and lift up a little bit higher. Energetically bring those thighs together. They won't touch. It's just an action. It's just you can feel how you're turning on those muscles. And then slowly release the hands, lower all the way down. Let's bring the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, and just give a little love onto that low back. Feet are going to come back to the floor. And from here, you're going to make a decision about what kind of an inversion you want tonight. So if you want to do another bridge pose as a mild inversion, you can do that. You could do Viparita Karani with a block, or just bringing your fingertips alongside the spine and then lifting the legs up. And if you want to take it a little bit more tonight, either shoulder stand or headstand, right? You can bring your knees up, hands come up underneath, and we lift ourselves up. Or we just roll over and we find headstand or handstand, right? Whatever inversion you take, stay there for about 8 breaths. Try to be meditative about it. Think about that breathing. Think about that exhaling. And then exhaling a little bit more. Breathe. out that limitation. Breathe out that conditioning. Breathe in divinity and openness. Take a couple of more breaths, whatever inversion you chose. And then slowly bring yourself back down. We'll go ahead and bring those knees back into the chest. Maybe lift the forehead. Maybe a little rocking and rolling again on the spine. Any little movements that might feel good. And then release the feet back to the floor. We'll take another spinal twist. Let's go ahead and cross the right knee over the left. And then lift both knees into the chest. Let the arms come out alongside the body like it's shoulder height, palms face up. And then let those knees fall to the left. And then maybe we gaze over the right shoulder. Slowly bringing those knees back into the chest, unwinding the knees, and then go ahead and place that left, cross that left knee over the right. Right, either with the foot on the floor or lift it, but bring the knees back into the chest. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. Let the knees move to the right and we look over the left shoulder. We hold here and breathe. Enjoying these last few moments of twisting in the spine. And we slowly make it back to center. And then we're going to take any last movements that feel good before Shavasana. So whatever that looks like to you tonight, and making your way down, maybe an eye pillow over the eyes or a blanket sometimes is nice over the pelvis, a little weighted down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then let it go a little bit more. And as you rest here, may you be reminded to have peace within, to trust God that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, that you don't forget the infinite possibilities that are born of love, that you use your gifts and you pass them along to others. That you let this presence of peace and love settle into your bones and allow your soul to have the freedom to sing and to dance, and to praise and to love. And take these next few moments start to bring your attention back to the space. Begin by stretching the breath. Nice, full, deep inhales. And exhaling all the way out. And exhaling just a little bit more. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Bending the knees, and we'll bring the soles of the feet back to the floor. As you're ready, roll onto the right side, using the right arm as a pillow. We'll stay here for just another breath or two. And then gently working our way back up, finding that nice comfortable Sukhasana, that comfortable seat. And as we sit, I'll just invite you for these last few rounds of breath to imagine your own mantra. As you breathe in, what are you breathing in? And as you exhale, what are you releasing out? Let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. Take one last deep, full breath in, and one last exhalation, and exhale just a little bit more. And I'll close by saying namaste. The light in me says, recognizes and honors that light in you. Have a beautiful night. Thank you so much.